Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be going over what I think is how you set up R on the cluster with the CGRB at Oregon State University. So I'm on a Windows machine here, and what I'm using is PuTTY. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log on to the cluster here. You have your username at shell.cgrb.oregonstate.edu. The port number, you can, if you're not sure what that is, you can ask someone in your lab or get a hold of someone at the CGRB to help you with that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause the video here for a second. Okay, so I've entered that command in PuTTY, and now I'm here, and it's requesting my password. So I'm going to enter that. Okay, so now I'm logged on. I always like to hit Control L on a Windows machine to clear the screen. And so next, we're going to reserve a processor in the cluster to build on a node, because we can't build on this where we're at here. So to do that, you enter this command, and I'll have a Google Doc in the description of this video with all these commands so you can copy and paste. So we go ahead and do that. And you can see here, we know we're building on a node now because our username changes. Okay, so our next step, first I'm just going to see which version of, well, first I'm going to, whenever I get on the cluster, I like to do an ls, which is list, to see where I'm at. And now I'm going to go ahead and navigate to my directory. So cd is change directory, and then ls you can list again, and then cd user folders. Your path might be different. You can also do two directories at one time. And now if I list, I'm here in my working directory. A directory is just another name for a folder. At any time, if you'd like to see where you're at, you can do pwd to print working directory. Okay, so now that I'm in my directory, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this command. There's two commands, and it depends on which version of shell you're using. So I put them both in the Google Doc. So you might, you'll want to try both of them. So I did that command, and then I'll do the next command. And I got this from the CGRB cluster tutorial that was written by Ed Davis. I'll also post these links in the description. Okay, so that's step 3. And you can see here this R. This might be the only line you will want to change. So you can always check which version of R you're running. So that's with R dash dash and then version. And so we can see I'm already running this 3.6.1. So I'm actually going to install R 4.0.2 because it's the more updated version. So we'll do those same lines except for I'm just changing the R-4 point, or I'm changing the R-3.6.1 to R-4.0.2. And I'm going to go ahead and run those again. Okay. Now let's, we're going to go ahead and do these next two lines. And yours might vary a little bit different. It's in the Google Doc, it's described how to change that. So here's our next two commands. We're going to run That one didn't work, so I know to try this next one. Okay. At this point, we'll check our version of R again, R dash dash version, and we can still see we're running our 3.6.1 version. So from here, we're going to close out of the cluster and relog in. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again. Okay, hey, I'm back. So I went ahead and logged out, closed the cluster, and then I relogged back in, and I moved back to my current directory. So just to confirm that, current working directory. Okay, so now if we do r dash dash version, we should see, okay, now we're using the R version 4.0.2. So that's good. We know that it worked. Our next step, step 5, is this is probably the easiest step. All we do is we type R, and then you can see this opens R in our command line here. And just to confirm that, we could do a simple R command, 1 plus 1, set a variable to 1 plus 1, and then if we print a, okay, so we see that it's working. So that's great. I'm going to do a Control L to clear my screen again, and now we're on to step 6. This is for installing packages, and this is the way to install packages that remain in your local directory, from my understanding. So you won't have to install them each time as long as you use this command. Um, so now we can see that it's loading, installing this package. And then the final step is when we load our libraries. What we're going to do instead of library, we're going to do this command, which this enables our libraries packages to be loaded and saved in our local directories also. So instead of library and tidyverse in quotations, we do .libpaths and tidyverse. And so we'll go ahead and do that. And then it looks like it worked. So this is what I believe to be the correct way to install a specific version of R in your local directory and have your packages and your libraries saved within your directory each time, so you won't have to load them each time you load up the cluster. All right, I hope this helps someone, and yeah, if anything's wrong in this, I apologize. I'm really just still learning this, so yeah, feel free to make any comments or corrections in the comments below. All right, thanks for watching.